I remember one of her friends was like, "Oh, she's not gay, or she's not bisexual." And I was like, "That's what you think. That's what you think."
She ate both our pussies in over here, child.
Yeah. Hello. Hi guys, and welcome to 138 of the Two T's podcast. I am Nana.
And I'm Rose.
And together we are Two T's. Oh, child. Do you know what, yeah? I really like our new theme song.
Yeah, I do know we haven't. I'll keep thinking we didn't actually say anything in the episode.
Our intro song, I love it.
Yeah, I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that for a long time we've had the same intro song.
Mm-hmm.
It's been getting us in trouble weekly on YouTube.
Yep.
So we always knew, I guess we always knew from time before we did visuals that we needed.
I think even
switch it up.
Even when we started, before we needed visuals, before we had visuals, we was just having audio. We knew that we would have to change it at some point.
Yeah, 100%. So
with a copyright girl.
That copyright. Yeah. Let us know if you guys like it. Use the hashtag on Twitter. Send us DMs on Instagram. Like, let us know. Yeah, I can't even do this song. I can't even do the theme song because do you know what it is? Because we don't edit.
Yeah, we don't edit it.
Yeah. So before, and also I don't listen to the episode now as well.
Yeah. Sometimes I listen, but I've only probably listened to. Yeah, it's not enough.
Nah.
Yeah.
After we record, I just hear the clips that we have because what Ella passes over to us. But shout out to Ella for hooking us up with producer.
Yep.
RK. So make sure you hit him up on the socials. His social medias are _KBeats.
And he's great.
Yeah. I know a lot of you guys are trying to do music and stuff. So like collab with him. Like he's amazing. And the professionalism.
Oh my God. It was
so friendly.
So
the customer service. Like
so polite. Yeah. And just like the turnaround time was good as well.
Yeah.
And just like the guidance, because we not into music. We don't know how this shit work.
I'm not gonna lie, the instructions were given him a ghetto, but
he
got it. Do you know what I'm saying?
He understood.
Got it. So got the assignments. So we're happy.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are happy too.
Let us know how you feel.
Keep cool, jazzy
vibe, mellow. You know
how because we grown.
We grown to sexy. But how you doing?
I'm right. Oh my God, I'm so tired, guys. At this time an hour ago, Nana was waking me up to come and record because I spent my whole night A&E with my mum. She's on crutches. She's fine. She's on crutches, but she's fine. But A&E, it was so ghetto. But so I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy. When they said we can go home, I was happy.
Yeah,
but I've barely had any sleep. So after this, I'm going back home to
sleep.
I know myself. I'm probably not going to sleep, but
probably not.
Yeah. How you been?
I'm all right. I'm tired as always. Always a lot going on. My social calendar is filling up, and I'm just like,
where's it filling up for? Where are you going?
Just so many things. Like I've got a screening. Like my friend made a film. Stephanie, the producer.
Yeah, she
made a film, so she's screening it, and then she's also having like a Black Renaissance dinner in White City House.
Bougie, love it.
So just like things like that. It's just filling up and just like seeing people, seeing friends,
Yeah. So. My social calendar is dry as fuck. I'm going to a screening tomorrow.
You want it to be dry.
Bianca, yes. I want it to be dry. Apart from that, I have nothing planned, and I love that for me.
I need to find a way to watch the film. What's it called again?
Movie with Jeremy Pope and Gabrielle Union.
Yeah. Was it? No, it's not Gabrielle Union, is it?
I thought it was Gabrielle Union.
No, it's Regina King.
Is it? Is Gabrielle Union in it?
No, I think it's Regina King. The Inspection.
Yeah, it's called The Inspection, yeah.
Yes, and that looks like I've heard really good reviews about that, but it's only in selected theatres, so it's not everywhere, which is why obviously we got an email about seeing the film and I can't make it, so I'm bummed out. I'm really bummed out because I've heard really good things.
Oh, it's Gabrielle Union, yeah.
Oh, is it Gabrielle Union?
Gabrielle Union, yeah. Maybe Regina King's in it as well, but in the email it says they're in it.
Oh.
But I haven't actually watched the trailer.
It's like, who plays the mum? I thought it was
sorry, it's Adverti.
Oh, it is Gabrielle Union. Do you know what? Because it's Gabrielle Union usually for me, she plays kind of like, I feel like she plays the same person all the time. So but when I saw this trailer, I felt like it was something different, which I like, because something more like serious and like she's really having to bring out her acting skills in this film. So I think that's why I got them mixed up.
Oh.
Because Regina King usually does like, you know.
Yeah, Gabrielle doesn't really play that many serious roles actually when you think
No,
about
she
it.
doesn't.
When I think about her, I think of Love and Basketball.
Oh
What else
yeah,
is she in?
Being Mary Jane.
Oh yeah,
That was on
yeah. That was
BET.
one of her main things.
Yeah, and that wasn't like a serious, you know.
Mm.
So every time I've seen her, it's not serious. So I guess that's why
Yeah.
it got mixed up in my mind. But yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So go, guys, if you can see that film, go see that film because it's queer, you know, and the representation.
They invited us. I mean, as Jeremy Pope was queer in real life, isn't it? Yeah. I knew that.
Because he was in
In
Pose.
Pose, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that makes sense why they invited us. They don't be inviting us to screenings.
No, not really. They
so
don't,
yeah, it doesn't make sense. Unless it's queer, then they do.
Yeah.
But I love that. I'm grateful for the invite. So I'm gonna do that with Bianca tomorrow. I haven't seen Bianca since her surgery.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. But yeah, other than that,
yeah,
it's dry out here.
It's dry here, but you want that for now.
I do. Do you know what? Before we get into the podcast properly, yeah, I just want to say, I feel like since I really have not been talking to nobody and everything like that, my friends have become my girlfriends. Like you guys, you know, normally when you're talking to somebody, you send them the pointless shit on WhatsApp. You might send it on TikTok.
Yeah.
You might screenshot something you've seen online. But I have to send that to my friends now. All the pointless shit I say during the day that I want to express, I have to do it in a group chat now. Yeah. Because there's no babes to send it to. No. There's no babes to send it to. There's no babes to text me while I'm sitting in A&E till 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I feel like, I don't know. It feels different. It feels very much like I have to now really sit with myself. And it's different, but I love this for me. Because I haven't been this bayless.
Yeah.
Like there's absolutely nobody.
Bayless.
There's no one. I haven't been bayless probably since I've met you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never, because this is 8 years, guys. Yeah. So I've never seen Rosie Bayless.
Nah, this is very, it feels very different. Because once one is out, there's another one waiting in the shadows to take their place. Yeah. Or do you know what I'm saying? There's always some overlap or some shit. But this time it's just me, myself, and I will keep you updated in a few weeks to come how that is going to be going.
Right, yeah. And Dry Pussy Jan has extended to February.
We're still I'm still celibate. I've talked about my celibacy here. I'm still celibate.
Wait, what the fuck does that mean?
Because do you know what? Yeah, I don't like when people always bunch us as one person. And so I need to talk about myself right now.
I know.
So I think that I'm starting to feel the benefits of it now. Before it was just, I'm just not expressing myself sexually, but actually no, I'm starting to feel. I love that. Again, this is the longest time I haven't had sex with anybody. It's been like since January, the 1st of Jan.
It's not that long, by the way.
It's not that long, but again, this is probably the longest time since I've known you that one period I haven't had sex yet.
Yep.
And I'm starting to, I get it, like because there's so much energy you release into other people that like when you're seeing them romantically or sexually, whatever it is, and there's just so much energy you put into that, and I didn't realize how much energy, even if it's like a casual situation, I'm just thinking, oh yeah, it's casual, like I'm not, that's because I'm not emotionally
but
there.
there's still energy, some sort of energy that you're putting into it, even if it's not like a serious thing, like
100%,
you know,
it's still there. And now the energy is kind of like lingering, so, and it feels like I've got more energy for myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's why I've been able to go to the gym a lot more. I've been to the gym 4 or 5 times this week. I've never done it in my life.
That's really good.
I've never done it before.
Because that's how many times you're supposed to go. Like, all those workouts, like, it's like 5, you know.
Yeah. When people say they go all the time, they probably don't have babes. That's why they can go all the time. Or some people
make it work, you know.
It's true. But it's because they've managed to understand the time that's theirs. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting on the phone chatting to gal.
It's true.
All these
It's
things.
true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's true. So I'm able to have time for
so myself. They have time for that.
Yeah.
I know somebody that works like at my job who obviously we start at like 8 a.m, 7:30 most times because they need to be there like an hour before. And they go to the gym twice a day.
Huh?
Yeah. They go
before they come to work?
Before they come to work, then after work.
When do they sleep?
That's the question I had.
Because you guys still finish quite late. Not late, but you know, late enough.
6.
Yeah.
And then when you have to get home, you get home at like what, 7, 8?
God.
How?
Do you know, I rate it. I want to be like that person. I don't
want to be like that person.
No, I rate it. But like, but it's like what the 2 things that I feel like I'm learning so far is about discipline and boundaries. And those are what I need anyway.
Yeah.
And I think I love it.
It's good to have boundaries.
It's great to have boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm telling people no. Remember the first episode I said I won't be coming to film people's birthdays?
Yeah.
I've declined birthday
Yeah.
invites.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
I
saying?
love
Not
that.
because of anything to do with the person. It's just the space that I'm in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the priority for me.
Where
And
you put your energy, like you're being intentional about where you put your energy.
100% intent.
Yeah.
I feel like last year we were saying it was the year of intention. But
it didn't really work out that way, did it?
This is now really becoming the year of intention.
Because I remember us having that conversation. But
yeah.
this is definitely the year of intention. Because even me, someone's asking me, "Oh, you going to Pussy Palace?" Obviously, I love Pussy Palace. Like, I love Maya. But for me, I can't be outside all the time. And this month, I've already been in the club once.
Yeah.
So it's actually
we've done the once this year, and that's enough for now. But even that, like, there was a lot of queer events on this weekend.
There was Fluid.
Before we would have went.
We would
one. We didn't go to any of them. And and the thing is, as much as we've been complaining about like where the 30 plus are, and there was a 30 plus Pussy Palace and we didn't go, maybe this is where they're at. Maybe we're starting to understand now why they don't go out.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this might be it.
Yeah, this might be it.
This might be the reason why. I get it.
Yeah.
Guys, for those of you who are inside, I get it now. I get it.
You know, like, if you're going out all the time, like heavy going out, like it takes you a whole day to recover the next day. It's like a whole day's been wasted. Like, I need that day, like, to do shit. I need to go food shopping. My fridge is empty.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
My fridge is empty. I need to go food shop. This is what being an adult is about. And it's all about being responsible.
100%. And it's just all about, again, that intention of being in places that only serve you, being in spaces that serve you. Like, respectfully, right now, queer spaces are not going to serve me right now. It's just giving bad vibes at the moment. That doesn't mean it's bad vibe for you guys, but for me as a person, it's not giving for me. So I'm just saying to my ass.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I just love being able to stay at home.
Yep.
You know?
But let's get into it.
Shall we get into it? What is on the agenda first?
Okay.
The tweets.
Yeah, the tweet.
Let me put it up, child, because
okay, what does the tweet say?
I'm gonna put it up because I feel like we need to read this step by step. Now, let me find it because Jean sent it to me, our friend Jean. She sent it to us in our group chat and she was just like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" I need to find it though. Okay, I found it. Guys, because this tweet definitely blew up on the interweb. On the interweb. Okay, so this young lady says, "I'm bisexual but heteroromantic, meaning I am sexually attracted to both men and women, but I'm only interested in being in a relationship with a man. Like, girl, we could bump coochies, but I'm not cuddling and watching movies with you." Okay, the next tweet, "Pussy is amazing, titties are amazing, but romantically speaking, women do nothing for me, and that's okay. Just let me eat a pussy and go home to my boyfriend." Okay. "Maybe I'm drinking, I'm telling y'all too much of my business. I don't know, LOL. Everyone's open to sexual liberation and being open and honest about your sexuality until your sexuality isn't in alignment with what's deemed acceptable to people. Heads up, what works for you. As long as you're honest about what type of time you're on, don't let nobody shame you." There's lots more, but like, let's just
there was a whole thread, and if a lot of people have seen, if you've seen it, then let us know what you think. Use the hashtag Tutors Podcast on Twitter, and give us your opinion on this. And if not, if you're not on Twitter, let us know in the DMs as well. But
people were saying it was misogynistic. So there were people quote tweeting saying this is misogynistic.
I think that everyone is entitled to identify however they want to identify. However, when it becomes problematic, it becomes the reasoning as to why you identify a certain way. So, and I think people like that draw out, when people disagree with them, it draws people out, and then they start to call people biphobic and stuff like that. And however, people should be able to comment if there is some sort of internalized homophobia in what you're saying, because that's problematic. If someone calls that out, it doesn't make them biphobic. What is problematic is your internalized homophobia. And I think there is internalized homophobia in that, because she goes on to say that, she says something in there like, "I just don't want women like that," or something like that. And her words are very derogatory, you know what I'm saying? And it's very, I don't know, it is very misogynistic as well, I think, because it makes, her words are kind of alluding to the fact that women are not good enough to be in a relationship with, but you're good enough for some sex, you know? And so I ain't fucking, I hate what she's saying, but I don't like the language she used around it.
I think there's a problem in, the way she said it, but I don't know if I necessarily think she's like she's biphobic. Like I
Yeah.
don't necessarily think she's like got this internalized
Homophobia.
yeah, homophobia. I think it's not black and white, innit? It's hard. That's why it's hard. The grey. we talk about the grey area a lot recently, and I don't think it's black and white. I don't think it's as straightforward as people would like it to be, because by definition, sexuality is attraction.
Yeah.
So if she's attracted to a woman, she can call herself bisexual. Do you know what I mean? But there's a lot of nuance when it comes to like sexuality. It's not just black and white. And so I understand that and I can appreciate that. And I think like having like spoken to a lot of women and stuff like that, there are so many women out there just like this girl. Yeah. And she actually identifies as bisexual. There are so many women out there who identify as straight, but they be fucking women up and down. Like,
and I think that's why we can take away the internalized homophobia a little bit, because at least she's queer.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? At least, I'm actually gonna take that on,
right?
But there's, like you said, there's plenty of women. There's loads.
There's so many,
women.
and I didn't even know that until recently. I didn't know, like, you know, these femme straight women be fucking other.
But you know me, I think everyone is a bit queer, so I've been knowing everyone. I've been like, a bit fruity. I say I'll be teaching that, but I don't know fruity. I should be calling people fruity. But, I've been seeing twinge in their eyes. Yeah,
definitely. I've been seeing it too. So I think like when it comes to women as well, like I've heard a lot of women say that like they wouldn't be with another woman, but they'd have sex with them because the dynamic is completely different and they prefer the dynamic with a man, you know? And, you know, I guess at the end of the day, that's a choice. Where I think it's biphobic is where you don't want to be with another woman because it doesn't look to you, it doesn't look the norm, it doesn't look normal, or
you're not gonna get what you want out of a woman.
You're not gonna get out what you want, or it's hard because like it's harder to be like a queer person living in this world. It's easier to be with a man, or your family, you know, will have a problem with it. Because to me, it's just like if you really want to be with a woman,
you just be with a woman. But do you know what I don't think she was even comfortable. I don't know. From what I was feeling from it, it was more like, she didn't say this, and I'm just assuming, but the energy I was getting was more like, oh, women are hard to deal with, women are drama, women, it was kind of, those are the kind of things I was getting from that. But this is the thing, like a lot of women, like femme women, they're like, I want to be the only one that's emotional. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And the thing about it, men are emotional too, babe.
But men and women are different. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's about the dynamic. So they want to be the one that's like, oh, I'm a girl, I want to be looked after. There can't be two of us in this. Like, I'm on my period, I'm moody or I'm emotional, but we're both on our period, because you know how women be syncing up. Yeah. You know, like for me, I'm not even gonna lie to you, even me being a masc presenting, I'm a soft babe. Do you know what I mean? Like, so even being in a relationship with another woman, sometimes when we're both emotional in that mood, it's like, I don't have capacity for mine and yours. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know some people do, but I don't, which is a bit selfish, but that's just the way I'm wired.
Yeah, I think when it comes to two women together and the overly emotional periods, I think that I feel like we need to learn how to like communicate around that. Right. I think because we're so much in our feelings and they're so much in our feelings, there's a breakdown in communication all the time, because you just want to think about yourself. Yeah. Like you just want to deal with yourself and you want your babes to be there for you, but then they can't be there.
They can't. Yeah.
But there needs to be a communication there. And I feel like if you're two women that live together and there needs to be some sort of structure in place. Whether that is, we have a sofa bed, one of you stays on the sofa, and one of us stays in the bed and we rotate that. Yeah. Or whether that means, you cook the dinner, but it's a routine that you guys stick to, so that like it's just there and that emotion doesn't just override everything and override your thoughts. And because sometimes you say shit that you don't even really mean as well in those times. And I just feel like there needs to be more focus on managing those times, right? Because that one part of the month, can really affect your relationship. It can really. Do you know what I mean? And then people turn around and say women are crazy and but they're not crazy. It's just you're on your period. Yeah. Even if you're not on your period, you're just two very emotional people. Yeah. There needs to be some logic to how to handle that.
But even like talking about periods, there's phases in the period, so it's not just a time where you're bleeding. Yeah. Like it's a whole thing. There's different phases in the month.
Your PMSing,
where your PMS, all different things. So it's a lot to actually like consider. And even in my last relationship, like my ex had my period in her calendar, like when I'm going to be on, or so she knows the week before, she knows, you know what I mean?
Some grace.
So yeah, she can give me some grace. She was very accommodating in that way. And like, there was a lot of communication because it definitely affected my mental health. So there had to be like, do you know what I mean? So
this is why, do you know Jerry? Shout out to Jerry, who's been on the podcast before, like in the early days, one of the bisexual episodes. And her and her babes, they've got that contract. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm taking it's communication.
Yeah.
And that contract, like, these are things you've both agreed on for whatever the terms are in their contract, it's up to them. But I feel like most people, everyone to have some sort of version of that that you're both committed to throughout the relationship, so that you don't drop the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't drop the ball, so you don't,
because it's so easy, because life gets in the way.
So you just don't get lost. So you're just always on the same track, and you understand what each other's needs are, because it's right there in black and white. There's no assuming. There's none of that. There's no misunderstanding. It's right there in black and white. You both agree to it and begin the relationship. And then there's nothing wrong. People change. There's nothing wrong revising those terms as well later on. But it's all about communication at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
I think that you know, having that sort of contract, obviously Jerry's a lawyer, so having that contract is just very good, because it just states everything out, and it's part of communication.
I will be doing it too.
You have to.
And you'll be, I need a third person to come and witness the
terms and conditions. Like, you need that. But I wanted to like read on this thread, because she compared it to like men. So she said, you know how many bisexual men like dick but only interested in being in relationships with women? Y'all acting like I made this up. Your sexual and relationship interests can be different. I don't care what you're chatting about. And I know a man, a bisexual man, who said he wants to get married to a woman, verbatim. He likes men too.
Is it the one?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. When I met him years and years ago, he said, this is what I want my future to look like.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah.
And he loves men too.
Yeah.
So what
about
that's
that? About being intentional as well, actually, because because you can't really control who you fall in love with,
right?
But I think he's been intentional about only falling in love with a woman,
to find a woman who would love him for him, and he did, you know. But he wanted to be married to a woman. He didn't want to be.
He wanted that life.
So what about that?
The thing is, I think that we didn't ever find him problematic when he said things.
I didn't,
but that's why it's about language. Do you know what I mean? Because when he says these things, he doesn't say it and reject men though. He doesn't say these things, and he's not like, oh yeah, because men are X, Y, and Z. And he's very much still there in the queer community. He's very much still uplifting of his queer friends. I don't think he rejects that side of him. He's very much accepting and accommodating of it, but it's just that he wanted this life. So I just think it's the way you approach it.
It's the language. It's the language that was used. It's kind of like, like women, they're just good, and they're just good for sex, and that's it.
Yeah. So I've never heard him say that.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
So, and I think when you say things like, I just feel like nobody wants to be used for sex. So whenever you say things like, oh, women are good for sex, but I want to be with a man. And to be fair, I haven't really heard a bisexual man say men are good for sex, but I want to be with a woman. I've never heard that. Do you know what I'm saying? But it always comes from bisexual women who make that comment. And I think that is what the issue is. Nobody wants to be used for sex.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's where the offense comes from. Because women are fetishized as it is. And when maybe it's not coming from a fetishization place.
No, I don't think
it's quite adjacent.
But it's like a thin line, but I don't think it's quite a fetish. Yeah. But I do think that like it's problematic. Absolutely 100%, especially the language that was used was definitely problematic. Yeah. You know,
even if there are bisexual men who say, oh, I like men for sex and want to be in a relationship, I ain't heard it. So if there are people, please, I haven't heard it too. If it's something that you've heard, then okay. But me, I haven't heard it. Yeah, I now sometimes people have to pick at every single point that we make.
They'll be like, oh, yeah, where have you been?
Like, I ain't heard that.
Yeah.
This is my podcast. I'm talking about my thing that I know.
Yeah. We haven't heard it, but if you have, let us know using
hashtags. And if you are one of those people, let us know as well. Like, use the hashtag. We're open to hear. We haven't had a bisexual man on the podcast for a
minute. We should get one on.
Yeah, we should get one on.
Yeah. But what makes you, speaking about, biphobia, what makes you biphobic?
I think if you reject the idea of somebody can be on a spectrum of liking both genders or fall in love with both genders, whatever the case may be, or if you have an issue with them having relations with for example, if it's a bisexual woman and I'm a woman, if I had issues with her dating men. If I was dating a
Mm-hmm.
woman
Mm-hmm.
and I found that she actively dated men, and then I'm using that, I'm just rejecting that side of her, or I'd stop dating. That is
That's
biphobic.
biphobic, yeah.
Like just anything that kind of puts down or invalidates their
Mhm.
sexuality is biphobic, I think. And it's mad, yeah, because so many of our bisexual friends talk about experiencing biphobia, and it's crazy to me because
Mhm.
none of apart from like one of our friends, but she's growing out of it now.
Yeah,
Like
it has.
I don't know any lesbians who are biphobic.
Mm.
That's just my experience.
But we don't know, but I've definitely heard it.
Yeah, I've
Like,
heard some things.
Remember our old friendship group where there was 4 of us, like
Yeah.
way back in the day, and we brought the question to them as like, oh, would you have a problem if a woman that you dated a guy after you? And they said yes.
Oh yeah, but you know what? That is their problem. You know, that's insecurity.
That is a huge
That
insecurity.
is insecurity because I think for me, I haven't dated that many lesbians. I have not dated that many lesbians, and I would say the most of the women that I've dated have been with men after me,
Right.
and
I couldn't give a flying hippo, babe.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah,
like, I think if anything, like because I think men and women are quite different, I would feel a type of way if they moved on with another woman.
I was gonna say, I feel like those who have moved on with women.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I feel like, ooh, like
she got
an anger.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Even if I rejected them, I'm still saying what you got.
Yeah.
But I think that's ego and pride.
That's definitely some ego.
But if they go to a man, I'm not a man.
Yeah.
So you just mean something different. Do you know what I mean? I really don't care.
I don't care.
I feel like you've even downgraded, child,
Yeah.
respectfully. But yeah, like, I don't know. But even if I've dated somebody and the ex is a man, the man is still kind of lingering. Yeah. I don't care. I don't know.
I don't give a fly. I just don't care because I feel like this might be bad, but I just feel like I'm better.
Yeah,
I'm just like, okay,
that's
go
what
with
it
your little boyfriend. I
what
don't
I'm
care
saying?
because 9 times out of 10, like they ain't giving what I'm giving.
No.
Per.
God knows you don't feel the safety you felt when you were a child.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? Even if things went left because of me,
Mm.
because even if I was at fault, I still know, even with that, you're still not going to feel the same safety.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't care. I just don't care people are bisexual. I genuinely don't care.
either.
Like, I don't get it. So when lesbians are biphobic or whatever they want to do, like even me, yeah, the friend that I met you through,
Mm-hmm.
I remember in the beginning, she was so adamant because I had a child. She kept on saying, "Oh, I hope you're not bisexual, because I don't date bisexual women." And I was like, "I'm not bisexual," and I just didn't understand it. And in the end, she turned out to be bisexual because she kept on saying she was a lesbian.
Yeah, she was lying.
And then she was cheating with men.
Yeah.
So married men.
Said she bits around the block.
Yeah, like she bits around the block with a capital K at the end. And I was very confused. I was like, why couldn't you say you're bisexual?
Yeah.
Like she was really, but I think she did that because it was a time when people were very biphobic.
There was like a
and was
stigma around being bisexual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just felt like she had to say she was a lesbian in order to be accepted.
Yeah.
And then when she was in her straight spaces, she would also say that she was straight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So she was living ultimately 2 different lives instead of just being a bisexual person.
I remember one of her friends was like, "Oh, she's not gay, or she's not bisexual." And I was like, "That's what you think.
That's what you think.
She
ate both our pussies in over here, child."
Yeah. Oh, so what is internalized biphobia? Is this girl that we mentioned like?
I don't think she's got internalized biphobia. I think she's just got shit words.
Yeah,
she's American, isn't she?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to the Americans, but you guys don't always articulate yourselves.
No, yeah,
yeah. I'm so sorry, but like, there's just a way sometimes, and I think that is one of the reasons why we started this podcast, because culturally we are different,
yeah,
and the way we express ourselves are different, and yeah. So I can understand sometimes the meaning of what people are trying to say, even if they say it in a very shitty way.
It's true.
So I think she was just saying it in a very shitty way. I get what she was saying. She was ultimately saying the same thing that our bisexual friends said.
Yeah.
But her words and her energy, and she's also on a defense because
it's
gone viral.
Yeah.
So everyone's on her. So she's trying to be like, boom, I said what I said.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's being defensive. So, but I can understand what she meant. I actually don't think that she is biphobic. And I bet she doesn't even fuck that many girls.
Mm.
I bet, yeah, because the girl that come out and say these things, when was the last time you even fucked with a girl?
Mm.
More time, there have not been with a woman for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think she's biphobic. I just think she's got shit way of explaining things.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So, guys, use the hashtag. Let us know what you think about, because I'm sure there's some people who are going to disagree with us, you know, and say that she is biphobic and what she said was misogynistic.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Also, guys, so my daughter is in secondary school now.
Oh,
as
yes.
you guys all know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to her last night about a child who may be trans, and I was asking her if she knew this child, right? And then she was like, oh no, I don't know them, but there is somebody in my year who, when we started, was a boy, but now they're a girl. And like she used all the proper pronouns. She's like, yeah, she started off like as a boy, but she's a girl, so we call her a girl. And I was like, oh, so how have your friends been towards that? And she was like, she was looking at me like, why am I asking her?
Yeah.
That? She was like, yeah, she's a girl. Yeah. And I was like, oh, was anybody like weird? And she was like, no, because she's a girl. Yeah. So we just call her she, because she wants to be a girl, so she's a girl. And I was like, okay.
Look how simple that is.
It was so simple. Like she just found it weird I was even asking her. And she's 11. And I was like, okay, how were the teachers? Because again, I've got a cousin who's a teacher, and she was even disciplinary in her school because she just couldn't call one of the trans kids by their correct pronouns, and she was like using them by their dead name, like all this stuff. She couldn't get around the fact that this person was trans yet. She just wouldn't accept it. And all you have to do is teach the child all the way, by the way. So because of that, I asked her, what did the teachers think? And she was like, oh yeah, they call her she. Like, she's she, so I call her she. And she was like, but we had an assembly about it. And I was like, what did they say in the assembly? And that they spoke about different LGBT people, that different ways people identify. And I was like, okay, what did they say around that? And she's like, yeah, some people like are born boys or girls and then later want to be something else, or they don't want to be anything. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, what about lesbians, gay people and bisexual people? She goes, yeah. But she was like, yeah, like a man came to our school and said that he likes men, so that means he's gay. And he had a friend who was a shopkeeper. When she said I had a friend who was a shopkeeper, I didn't know the person was chatting shit. But they had a friend who was a shopkeeper who liked boys and girls. Like, who knows the sexuality of the shopkeeper, please?
No.
Boss man. Do you know what boss man sexuality is? You just go and get your K8 or whatever it is and you bounce.
Yeah.
And then anyway, so she was like, yeah, he liked boys and girls, and people in the area found out that he liked boys and girls and had a boyfriend, and everyone bullied him in the area. Who bullies boss man?
No one bullies boss
Who
man.
bullies boss? I knew that the story was bullshit.
Yeah.
But
it's a better story.
But I get what they're trying to illustrate to the child.
Yeah.
And the only thing I disagreed with that was they used homophobia as a way to describe sexuality.
Yeah.
And I understand that you cannot always make children or young people think that everything is rose tinted glasses and everything is great and everyone's all accepting and all that business. I get it, but when you're just explaining what sexuality is, you don't need to bring homophobia in. That's the only thing. I don't like it when people use scare tactics.
Because you don't.
It's like in religion, you use scare tactics to say if you're this way, then you're gonna go to hell. That's the one thing I didn't agree about, because from what I know, the assembly was just about explaining the different identities.
It can be that simple.
Yeah,
it can be that.
And
simple.
that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did think it was quite interesting. And the thing is, it sounds like this is something she had weeks ago, but she didn't say nothing.
Because she doesn't see as anything that's like a big deal.
Yeah.
Because it's just so normal to them. And you see how kids can just get it. They can just get it without even like being like, oh, this is weird, this is disgusting. They're just so open and so accepting. Do you know what I mean? And like, I feel like adults need to take a leaf out of kids' books, because
100%.
the irrational homophobia is ridiculous at this point. Like, get the fuck over it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was yeah. And
If a kid
you gotta love the way they think.
Yeah.
And like she was even saying that there's people in my school who are LGBT as well. I was just like, and it's mad because she was talking to me like I'm not a lesbian.
Like, she was teaching you.
She's talking to me like there's people out. She was like there's people out there.
There's people out there that are gay.
And I was thinking to myself, okay, really are there?
That is hilarious.
Yeah, but yeah, I love kids. I love like the generation that they're growing in. They just, but also at the same time, I wonder if another child who grew up in a homophobic household, what their stance would be. She doesn't grow up in a
Yeah.
homophobic household.
I think
So for her, it's
definitely
just whatever.
kids that grow up in a homophobic household, they definitely take that on.
Yeah,
Like,
I wonder how, like, but she did say everyone has treated the child properly, but I wonder how they go home and have those conversations with their parents, if they do.
Yeah.
If they do, because I didn't have a conversation. I had to ask her.
I had to ask her, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be difficult because I'm just thinking about like my brother and his kids is a devout Christian, and how would that be like if his daughters came home and said, oh,
Yeah.
about this? I'm not sure. And also my sister-in-law's a teacher, so it's just like, she obviously sees these things, you know, in school. So I just wonder how like she feels about it, because obviously they go by what the Bible says. So, you know, who knows? I'm just hoping, like, you know, just people are treating, like, if you're a teacher, you're treating like those kids right.
Talking of the Bible, have you seen? I don't know if it's on a list of topics today, but have you seen that the church? I don't know if it's Church of England, but they want to start using gender neutral terms for God.
Oh, well, I think we all kind of knew this from a long time ago, that God doesn't have a gender, like, do you know what I mean? Like, God is God, and
I know we say what makes God all superior, is because they're not the same as us.
It's because they're this figure, sort of, you know, this powerful figure up above, and you know they're not a person, so they don't have a gender. So I hear that. I think obviously we'd be using he because the world is so misogynistic, and you know,
and all religion is misogynistic.
Yes, we live in a patriarchal society, so that's why we've historically used the pronoun he. But it's good that they're making like strides in the, you know.
I think. Do you think it's necessary?
I don't think it's necessary, but if that's what I think, it should be open up to people who want to. But how would they? So what would they refer to God like?
I think God was still going to be God. However, like when they say things like "Our Father" in the prayer, or in the Bible where they said he, you know, when they say he, him,
yeah, what they're going to say
like that. I think they want to try to use more gender neutral terms, and I think there's not as much. I just feel there's nothing. It's not that necessary.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it's that necessary. I don't think anybody actually sees God.
No, nobody.
Actually, some people might. You never know. Some people might actually see God as a man. That. They might see God as a man. God is not a man. God is God. God's but so I don't think it's that.
It depends on what. I think it depends on the individual. I think if you want to, you know, use it. If you want to keep using he, go ahead, do what you want to do. If you want to use they, that's up to you. But if it's an option, that's cool. But I don't really feel like they need to change it up.
Nah, I don't think they need to. But at the same time, I understand why. I get it. Like, they're trying to make things a bit more inclusive and make language more inclusive. And do you know what? I feel like if language was more inclusive in places like in religious institutions, and
then we wouldn't feel so sidelined and marginalized and left out.
That, but also I feel like people wouldn't be so confused about using gender neutral terms. Like, people are happy to use they and them regularly,
in the
but
sentence,
then when you're using it to like to refer to an individual, all of a sudden it's an issue. They and them are words. They're words that exist in the dictionary. They're words you're using forever. The words that you use every single day. But because as soon as it comes to referring to a person as that, it is a huge issue.
For me, I think it's more so like they just don't want to. That's what it is. Because I understand, like, sometimes it might be hard to because we're used to the language that we've been using. Do you know what I mean? So I understand that it's hard to get used to calling an individual person they, because we haven't done that. We didn't do that before. So I understand that it could take some time. But there are some people who are just like adamant, like they're just against it. Because I want to accommodate anyone's gender, whatever it may be, and so I have non-binary friends and I use they. Sometimes I might slip up, but I correct myself. Some people are not like that. They just refuse.
But let us know what you think about that as well, because I did see in a page that uploaded about that, and I saw so many queer people in the comments saying this has gone too far, stuff like that. Whenever I see queer people in comments on social media engaging in homophobic things or transphobic things, it's just I hate it so much. I hate it more than the actual homophobes. The cis hetero homophobes. It's just like, bro, like, we're on the same team here.
Yeah.
Like, just do this in our background.
Yeah.
We have to have a discussion about it. Do it in the house.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
you know
don't be taking our business to the streets.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I don't like. Don't,
because you encourage them.
You encourage people to be homophobic, and you know, when you're part of the community. Like, I don't be putting our business out on the streets like that. Girl. Anyway, what is on my agenda? Okay. Homophobic dancehall songs. Because we went out recently to an event. This was a queer event. And
it wasn't queer, it was just women only, innit?
Oh, it was women only.
Yeah, it wasn't queer, yeah.
Sorry, it was a women only event. And there was lots of queer people, of course. And there were, the DJ played they played a homophobic. Like,
it's mad because the clip that I uploaded on our Instagram story, I didn't even realize it had the homophobic song.
Oh, did it?
So like Whitney messaged and was like, I'm screaming because it's a homophobic song. And I was like, oh yeah, LOL.
Like, this is what happened. The song was playing. Somebody that we know rushed over to me and was like, what this song is playing, like what's going on, like, kind of thing, like, this is a really homophobic song. Now it was a dancehall song, wrongly known as bashment, you know, we use the word dancehall now. And I was just like, because in the moment I was lit, like I was having a good time, I was singing along to the lyrics, whatever, and I was like, no, it's cool.
Yeah,
but I wish I had given her context. Because I was, obviously that wasn't the time, in it, time and place, I was busy dancing. I wish I'd given her context. But for me personally, I feel like times have definitely changed. That song is quite old. That song came out when I was probably in like end of primary school.
That song, so it's been a long time.
End of primary school, that song like probably came out. And at the time, it was just, it was different. Like, there was definitely a lot more homophobia. There was like, people just weren't exposed to queer people and all of that stuff. Like, times have changed. Like, those artists are not making the same music anymore. They're not making homophobic songs anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that it's right, it's not right, but it's also a part of our childhood. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a part of
nostalgia.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nostalgia. Do you know what I mean? But I think for me, it's like using certain words, like the N-word. I can say it. You can't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, it's still wrong. But obviously we have to give like a bit of grace to people moving on and learning and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's a bit of a complicated thing.
Yeah, I just feel like when it comes to homophobic songs, I think that it depends on the space you're on. Like, a lot of the time, the reason this person is a cishet person. Now, I wonder if we were in a space that wasn't a women only space, where there wasn't so many queer people, and they were in the usual, you know, social settings, and that song was played, and there wasn't that many queer people. Would that have occurred to them that shit, this song is homophobic? Would they have said, oh my god, should we be playing right now? But you guys are dancing to this. If they would have had that comment, but I don't know if they were just more hyper aware because there was a lot of queer people in this space.
But I feel like people, even in like predominantly straight spaces, are kind of thinking about it, because even like Reese's and stuff like that, they don't play homophobic songs. Yeah. Like, they make it a point not to. Yeah. And their space isn't a queer space. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I think people are thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? So I do feel like that question was like, it was genuine. I don't know if she would have like, you know, like made a big deal to go and approach and say, oh, like, should this be played? But she probably would have thought it. Oh, that's...
Yeah, I think it's about the safety of the space as well. Yeah. Because sometimes I go out and I hear the song, and I know the song is being played because they're being homophobic. Sometimes you just know the intention. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, in this space, the person, I want to say that maybe they were a queer DJ. I couldn't assume that they were queer. I shouldn't assume, but you know, and it was a safe space. It was a women only space. There's queer people there. The person who held the space has intentionally made this space safe for all types of women to be there, and so whatever music was played and stuff like that would have been done so safely. Even if it's a homophobic tune, it would have been done so everyone can enjoy the tune. So like, I didn't even notice that this tune was playing. I was singing along, but it didn't dawn on me. It didn't register. Yeah. You know, I'm just singing a tune. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas when I've heard it somewhere else before,
you're looking around,
I'm looking around,
people, and
even if I hear it in a straight space, and it's just but I still feel safe in that space. Or I know the space is safe, and I know the DJ understands things or whatever. Like, even I might not feel it then. It's when I go to a space, you just know it's something in your gut tells you they're playing this song to be homophobic, especially when they wheel it up 100 times.
Yeah, why are you eating it?
Step. And when they do all of that, that's when you know. Okay, all right, cool. I'm gay. I've heard. You've seen me. I've heard. Or they've seen a black gay man on the corner somewhere, like bending over or having living his best life, and then they play that tune. So it's all about the intention and the safety of the space. Even if they played it in recess, I don't think I'll think it's homophobic because for me, I deem recess to be a place that is safe for people like us to go to, and that's why we go there. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, I think it's all about the intent. You know when it's homophobic. You just know.
You just know.
You know what I mean?
But again, for me, it's like, you can't sing that if you're straight. I can.
Yeah.
Like, for me personally, like, so if it's played in the queer environment, I'm like I'm okay with that because I know it's a safe space. But like, if it's played like anywhere like else, then it's kind of like, no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what it is for me. Because for me, it's the same as N-word.
Yeah. And I think it's also okay if some people... Because some queer people don't care where they hear it. That's a tune. You're allowed to have that too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that's how you feel, that's how you
There can't
feel.
be like some sort of like consensus because everyone's different and everyone has different feelings towards it.
Yeah.
Do you know
everyone
what
has different feelings.
Like,
I think everyone has different feelings towards music. Certain things make people feel a certain way.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Maybe somebody has...
Maybe it might trigger somebody.
Yeah, it might trigger somebody. You just don't know.
Are the lyrics right? No, they're not. Like, and
we know that.
Yeah. We know they're not right. But you know that. Like, people that have moved on. I think when we had, who did we have? I think it was Mark Thompson that we had on, and they might have mentioned about the music. And they kind of had the same, opinions that we have. It's just like, that was a time, and people like artists are not doing that. And since then, I know even like Buju Banton has apologized to the queer community for his past homophobic lyrics and stuff like that. So
it was a time.
It was a time. It was a time. But talking about homophobic lyrics, Burna Boy has been accused of homophobic lyrics in his song, and I just wanted to talk about it because obviously it's up to interpretation, and I mean, I don't know. So it's the song "Wet in the Soup," and basically, somebody that we know had an issue with the lyrics.
Yeah.
I need to.
You want to tell us what the lyrics are?
Yeah, I want to pull up the lyrics because I think it's definitely up to interpretation, but. The lyrics are, "I no be one of those men where they fear Toto. Fuck Nyash."
So, Toto means
vagina.
In what I would call pigeon.
Pigeon, right.
And I just feel like, is he talking about a man's bum? A man's bum? Or he's talking about a woman's bum? Because there are some men who don't like anal. There's people who don't like anal. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm a lesbian woman, if I say that I don't like anal, which I don't, does that mean I'm being homophobic? I just don't like anal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think anal is just reserved for gay men.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
not.
I think, I don't know, maybe the person who complained about it is a gay man. So I don't know if, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if the lyrics, he didn't mention man's bum.
Yeah.
Did he?
He did. No, he didn't. Because it's really, that's what I said, it's really like vague. Like, it's really up to interpretation because I don't know what he means by that. I don't know if he's talking about a man's bum. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's kind of hard.
Not like anal. Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
just like what they like.
I think people are gonna take it as like, I'm not one of those men that are scared of pussy. Where I'd fuck. And that people are gonna see it as he's being homophobic.
But why? Why is it that anal, when you think of anal, you just think about gay men?
Right. That's also true.
Like, why?
But then why would he say that though? But why would he say that? I even want to play it because I need to like.
So the translation, this person said, "I am not one of those men afraid to fuck pussy, but then ends up fucking ass." I just feel like, I don't know. Do you know what? Yeah, I kind of understand why. Is that the song? Please be
I know be one of those men with the Vieto to for girls. Check I'm not back. Me, I know say everybody.
You know what? I need a Nigerian to translate the rest because.
But the person is Nigerian. But you mean
But
the
they
lyrics afterwards?
Yeah.
Translated that one line.
The lyrics after. I need to know what the lyrics after, because obviously continues. It should continue with what, you know.
Yeah, because I feel like when we talk about homophobic lyrics in the past from Buju and everyone like that, they're very specific in talking about gay men.
Yeah.
Like
Tissue
they
Man.
mentioned, they said who they were talking about. Yeah. Like Burna Boy is talking about arse, talking about anal. I don't know if it's homophobic.
We don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But only Burna Boy, he's not gonna come out.
He's the only one that
he's the
only one that can tell us.
He's the only one to confirm that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he does have other homophobic lyrics. I'm just looking at the comments on what people are saying. And it's a very 50-50. Some people say he's reaching. Some people are saying that, because he did mean that he said he meant DL men. I don't even know how they even got to DL men.
How do we know
How did we get to DL men? Like, I'm not sure about this one.
When did this album come out? Like a year or two ago?
I don't think this is his latest album. Do you know what, Uncle? Like Uncle's like in his 40s or 50s that posted this, and even the picture that he even used the Burna Boy, and this is an old picture. He won't wear these sunglasses again. But even one of the popular queer DJs says, "I love you, X name, but this ain't the one."
Yeah. So we don't know. It might be a reach. Do you know?
Yeah,
it might be a bit of it might be a bit of a reach. We don't know because it's very hard to decipher what he actually means without. He would need to come out and tell us himself.
Yeah. Definitely. I don't. But I understand. Do you know what it is though? I do think that as black gay men, they are probably are on a defense, especially against other cis-het black men who are in the music industry and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people are homophobic. Do you know what I mean? Whether they come out rightly and say it and stuff like that, behind closed doors, a lot of people are homophobic. We just look at the Shea comments.
Yeah, it's girl.
Yeah, a lot of people are homophobic,
especially towards black men. You know, like they definitely get it the most. Like they get a lot of the bullying and stuff like that, whereas we don't really get it as much as them. So I understand them being so defensive.
Like, you can be a bit hypersensitive towards certain things. And do you know what? It's mad. I was actually thinking last night about how hypersensitive some people might say queer people are overly sensitive.
I think we definitely used to be hypersensitive.
Yeah, do you know what I think? I'm not sure if queer people are, if sensitive is the word to use, I do think they're quite defensive. So like if people don't use the same right language, if people don't say all the right things, even with us, like our latest TikTok post is a clip from our last episode, and we're talking about when men switch up. And in the comments, I don't know if you've seen it, I don't know, Overnight has got bare views overnight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And one of the comments basically says that how some people have to switch up. It's like you guys are acting
survival.
Like you don't know that people have to be in a safe space. Especially as black gay men, they can't always exist because it's unsafe sometimes. And there's somebody who was talking about how he got beaten up and got outed in our comments. Girl, I didn't even tell you this, chat. Our comments are going off right now. But the thing is, it's literally like a 30-second clip. We don't have time to add everything. And the thing is, two things can be true at the same time. Yeah. Like some people do dim their queerness because of internalized homophobia, and some people dim their queerness because in a place to be safe. And I think we should be okay to have conversations without always using disclaimers. We should always know what we're talking about, especially when we're in spaces where we're talking to other queer people. We should be able to talk freely without all these things.
Bro.
Because we understand what we're saying. In that moment, we weren't talking about unsafe people. We weren't talking about people who are living in countries that are homophobic countries that cannot be themselves. That's not who we were talking about. We were talking about people with internalized homophobia. And all three of us having that conversation knew that. And if you listen to the podcast, we speak about all different types of queer people and different types of spaces and different types of ways to exist. So
we know that.
We know. Do you know what I'm saying? We know that it's unsafe to be queer in some places and you have to pretend. We've said before in workplaces, we've said that we're straight because it's just easier. We know that. And because we're living as queer people who are visibly queer.
Yeah.
So That's not something that's just gone over our heads.
People take a 30-second clip and just run with it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with social media.
That is the problem. So I don't think people, I don't want to say people are overly sensitive, but I do think people are defensive, which I don't blame, because we do live in a society where there is a lot of prejudice against queer people, especially Black queer people. So I get where you're being defensive, but sometimes that's not the place to be defensive. Sometimes have some grace, have some understanding, open your eyes a little bit as well. Sometimes, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we are not the enemy. In this case, I don't think Burna Boy is the enemy in this particular song as well.
Right.
So
listen to the podcast.
Listen to the podcast. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, listen to other Burna Boy songs. Has he been homophobic before? Before this, I haven't heard anything about him being homophobic. So. Do you know what I mean? Don't start a fire where there's no smoke, bro.
If you are Nigerian and you can speak Pidgin or Yoruba, please use the hashtag. Let us know what he's saying in the next line, because I would really like to know too. But quickly, I put this down, like Beyonce losing album of the year to Harry Styles, and Harry Styles saying this doesn't happen to people like me often. Did you hear about that?
I've tried to reach out of that situation. I've tried.
Apparently, he at the Brits, he said he acknowledged his privilege at the Brits when I think he probably won an award. And he acknowledged his privilege. Now, I don't listen to Harry Styles.
He said it at the Brits.
Yeah, he had the Brits. At the Brits, he said he acknowledged his privilege. So he's kind of like apologized for what he said. I think it was a tone deaf.
What did he say in the Grammys?
It was a Grammys. Yeah, he said this doesn't usually happen to people like me.
Oh,
like him winning album of the year.
Oh,
but he's
girl.
He's a cis white man.
You know what happens to who? If it's gonna happen to anyone, it's gonna happen to you.
And then at the Brits last night, apparently he acknowledged his privilege. Because obviously people were like, "What are you talking about? You're a cis white man." Yeah. Like, and I'm
even
sure
the fact that he couldn't acknowledge a privilege in that moment,
it's
privilege in itself.
It's
wild.
It's crazy. Like, I'm sure his album's good. I don't listen to Harry Styles, but people have
apparently
said,
it slaps.
Yeah, people have said that it's really good. And obviously this is somebody who, I don't know what Harry Styles' sexuality is, but he's definitely like quite gender fluid. Like,
at the moment, the way he dresses,
the way he presents, and so like I don't really know. But at the end of the day, he is a cis white man. So, you know, this
if it's going to happen to anyone, it's going to happen to you, babe. Do you know, it's mad, because I think the category this year was genderless, isn't it, in the Brits?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so like there's a whole thing about how everyone in the category, I think people think that this category becoming genderless, there was no women nominated.
Hold on a second. It's genderless, but there's no women nominated.
There's no women nominated. However, there's non-binary people nominated.
Okay.
Sam Smith.
Yes.
I think Sam.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I wasn't paying attention to the Brits.
Yeah.
This is just something that I've come across. Yeah. Like, Sam Smith. So they're now saying they've made it gender neutral in order to make space to make queer people inclusive.
Yeah.
And
good thing.
They've erased women from that. However, inclusivity doesn't mean just making space for queer people.
Yeah, it means making space for
everyone. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but I'm thinking, was there no women worthy of being nominated in this? Well, I don't know what category it was either.
Shout out to James Barr from Again, a Non-Gay podcast. He made a really good Instagram post about this, and he basically said the music industry is prejudiced to women in general.
In general, yeah.
And he was saying something about there's only 20% of, when you go to labels, only 20% of them are women that are signed. The rest of them are men or non-binary people. And even the non-binary number is probably a lot smaller than the women number. But that in itself should show you're already marginalized. Do you know what I'm saying? There's not many of you to choose from to put you up for nominations, because you're not signed anyway. You're not be given the same opportunities as men. So the issue here isn't, queer people are being put in front of women. That's not what the issue is here. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I hate that when we get something like, what about, because we're women too. Like, then what about that? So like, you know, I hate it. It's not, you're pushing out women to make space for, you know, queer people. That's not what it is. If anybody should be blamed, it should be like the organization. Like, you know.
Everyone should be in that category.
Yeah.
Like, all genders should be in that. If it's going to be genderless, then all genders should be in that category that are worthy enough to be nominated, who have the album sales, who have the streams, who have all of that behind you and stuff like that. Like, it should just be fair. Do you know what I'm saying? But again, whites, cis men are always going to be at the forefront. This is the Brit Awards. We're talking British awards here. We're talking about, of course, like white queer men are going to be at the forefront. White in general is going to be at the forefront of it. That's in general.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think the categories that black people dominate, it's not really they don't have categories in the Brits Awards, which is
exactly.
I mean, there's rap, but that's probably
exactly. And if we're gonna put it down to it's making space for queer people, why was no queer women? Why have no queer women in that category?
Because I know some queer women who could have been in that category.
One performed,
yeah,
at the Brits.
exactly. But I don't know. Do you know what category this was?
I think it was for best. It was best art. I don't know. Let me look at let me look at what it was. I don't know if it was artist of the year. I don't know if it was album of the year. When it comes to these awards, child, I don't really be paying attention.
Yeah, I hear it because I didn't even watch it
before. They used to have Brit Awards. Yeah, so it was all, even last year it was all male nominees. So they started this thing from last year. Artist of the year.
Artist of the year.
Instead of doing Women of the Year and Men of the Year, now it's Artist of the Year.
And there was no women.
And there was no women in that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But then that just goes to show that there's a bigger issue when it comes to the music industry, and it's not the fault of queer people. Like, they should be in those categories, but so should women. And that's where you should be focusing on. People love to lose focus, and it really irritates me.
Okay, so 71 acts were eligible for the gender neutral award, and only 13 were female or non-binary. That has nothing to do with
and
queerness.
None of them got chosen.
And none of that has nothing to do with queerness. Do you know what I'm saying? This is
guys, don't lose focus, because this is what will happen. You use focus, you're distracted by something that you don't need to be distracted by, and then we're not even fighting the fight that we should be fighting. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's actually ridiculous. It's a waste of time. Yeah. So
looks like we've come to the end.
We've come to
time slot.
We've come to the end of the episode.
We've come to the end of the episode. Please get involved in the discussions on Twitter. Make sure you use the hashtag #TwoTwosPodcast in conversation. I think we're going to try to be a bit more conversational on Twitter. Seeing as we're not using our own personal Twitter.
Yeah, you need to use Tutu.
We need to utilize the Tutus and get involved in conversations. We don't want to say the wrong thing and then people start cancelling you. But anyway, we move. And make sure you follow us on TikTok, get involved in the conversations there. Also on Instagram, follow us and all that good stuff. Share our content. Please share our content, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, all that good stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe. Until next week, peace.